going on? Code Nasty here in 702. Just want to do a quick little clip here of my cleric and my healing mode. Again, if you've seen any of my videos, you know my cleric is not my main character at all. Not really using the best kind of enchants or anything like that. But Vorpal is actually super nice. Just throw it there for a healer because if you check it out, it increases your crit severity and critical strike. Mine's only at 2%. It's only rank 10. I think rank 12 increases it by 3%. I'm pretty sure that's when it happens. So yep, just really quickly gonna go over the powers. Let me actually switch this around because I had this set up for my PvP excursion there. Okay, yeah, so this is the basic setup that I use. Now, I have a paladin as well. I prefer healing on my DC. It's more effective, and I feel like it's also a lot easier. A buddy of mine actually kind of explained it the other day in a pretty cool way. He said that the paladin heals is to prevent you from taking damage, whereas the cleric is actually built more to recover your health, which kind of makes sense because I was struggling there on my paladin for a while. Just wasn't able to push out the actual, the numbers that I needed to help my team survive in the dungeon. So just really quickly going to talk about the powers here. For my L2, I'm using Sacred Flame. This is mostly just as an assist. When you're standing there and there's nobody to heal, you can, it speeds it up a little bit. You're not doing a lot of damage at all. But in the lair of the Mad Mage, this is what I use on the second boss fight when you have to take out the boulders before they fall into the little hole there with the thick worm. So, that's basically when I just started using this. One alternative to that, though, would be you could use this one, Blessing of Light. Increases the effect of your next healing spell by 10%, which is super nice. Okay, one of the reasons I don't really use this is because, again, when you're in a party, you have to run around and you have to try to find the actual teammate that you need to heal next, and then obviously you'd be using a different one than this. So to me, sometimes it could be difficult. There's going to be enemies in the way. You might have another teammate in between you and the one you actually need to heal. So yeah, I don't really use that one too much. But then for R2, I have Soothe, which is just a small heal, but you'll notice that it doesn't use very much divinity at all. So this is kind of nice when you've already used a couple of your spells and you just want to patch somebody up, bring it back to 100% real quick. Again, there's no cooldown on it, and it costs 40 divinity, which isn't bad. I'm out of combat technically right now, so that's why you're not seeing my divinity shrink that much. Yep. So moving over to, these are the three spells that I use the most. Now I want to tell you why I use Healing Word over the Bastion of Health. Bastion of Health, is nice. It's 1600 magnitude, right? Whereas this is only 300 magnitude. However, Bastion of Health also only costs 100, whereas this costs 220. The problem that I have with Bastion of Health, and actually I haven't looked at these numbers since the combat change. I feel like this is a little stronger than it used to be. Bastion of Health is great, but you see how you have that giant circle there of people to heal? The more of your teammates that are inside that circle, it splits the heal between them. So that means if you have two people inside that circle, instead of dealing 1600 magnitude to each, it's going to be 800 to each, right? So if you have three, I'm trying to do math in my head, it's like 500 something magnitude per each, right? It's not bad. And I heard that they actually fixed they fixed it too where this doesn't heal your companions, because before it would heal your companions and it would split that damage either again. So between these two, go ahead and play around with it, I guess, see which one you actually personally like better. I haven't used this one in a long time, so this might have gotten a buff. I don't remember that magnitude being so high, but the cool thing about the Healing Word, though, is that this, you just press it and it flies. It heals everybody close to you. You don't have to target anybody. And again, the more complicated it is in combat, the more you have to run around. Like, if you're using this one and you're like running for a second and you can't catch the actual tank, or you can't catch the DPS that's falling, you're wasting a couple seconds there, just trying to get the target over the proper ally, and that's time that you could be spent just healing instead. The other cool thing about this one is that it also gives a heal over time. So I'm sorry, I correct myself, because the original magnitude for the first heal is 450, but then it gives a heal over time of 300. I think it's every 2 seconds, something like that. It's pretty quick. And it lasts for 18 seconds. So this is nice because, you know, you pop it, it heals everybody close to you. You don't have to aim anything. And then it also continues healing them for 18 seconds, which is great because that's less healing you have to do, which means you have more divinity stashed, you know, or stored away. Now, the second healing spell that I'm using is Intercession. This is great. This is basically like your emergency heal, because what it does is it heals instantly heals the nearby party member with the least amount of hit points, right? So, and it's a 1800 magnitude. Super strong. I'll explain really quick in a second how I kind of, not necessarily a rotation, but how everything works. And then for my triangle, I have Exaltation because it increases your outgoing healing and damage dealt by 20%. Obviously, this is my healing build, so I'm not worried about the damage, but increases your outgoing healing by 20%. And if you notice, this does not cost any divinity. So for a free, you know, it is a 20-second cooldown, 19.1 seconds, but for no cost at all, you're instantly doing 20% more on your heals, right? Which is awesome. Because again, your heals are going to be better, and you're saving yourself divinity so that you don't run out in the middle of like a boss fight or something like that. As far as dailies go, using Guardian of Faith, just sometimes you don't really need to heal, so maybe a little extra DPS will come in handy. And then Hallowed Ground. This is great for, you know, when you're, you know, certain mechanics of a boss fight, when you know your party's about to take a lot of damage, or let's say the tank maybe accidentally pulled too many enemies or something like that. You could just throw that down on the ground real quick, and it's you know, they take 10% less damage, and then it heals over time as well. And the cool part again is if you've got your healing word out, you know, that's 2 heals over time, so it's pretty hard to bring down your party like that. Again, this is something I use in that second boss fight in Lair of the Mad Mage. I actually, just a quick note, I saved that for the second phase though, because the first time that the worm starts bashing you guys with that electricity or whatever, it's generally easier to keep up with the heals, but that second time is because you've got all those golems with you, right? So that's what I try to save this for. Just really quickly, Expanded Faith increases your maximum divinity by 150. This one you could switch out for something else. Again, I'm not saying this is the best setup ever for healing. This is just what I'm using, but you know, there might be some other things here. You know, if you're pretty good at managing your divinity, or let's say if your party has a lot more incoming healing, so you don't have to spam your heals as quickly, you know, you might be okay to lose that extra little 50 divinity and maybe put something else down there. But then I use Hallowed Guide as well, so it increases the healing by 5% when your target's within 15 feet. Most of the time, you're going to be pretty close to your party members anyway, so extra little 5% heals are pretty nice. Empowered Soothe. So encounter powers which cost divinity now grant 3 stacks of Empowered Soothe, and when you use Soothe under the effect of Empowered Soothe, a stack of Empowered Soothe is consumed and the heal magnitude is increased by 100. So when I'm hitting them for that, instead of 275, it's going to get 375 again. You know, it's a very cheap cost, little small heal there. Battle Prayer, encounter powers which cost divinity now grant Battle Prayer, reducing the cast time of your next lighted divinity to 1 second and increases the divinity cost. Decreases the divinity cost by 50. This one is super important, and I'm going to show you guys that in a second. Blessed Armaments grants Divine Glow and Exaltation the effect of decreasing your damage taken by 10% and dealing additional radiant damage after most attacks. So that's awesome, because when you're using your Exaltation, you're going to increase your outgoing healing by 20%, and because of this feat, you're also going to decrease your damage taken by 10%, which is nice. You know, I mean, generally inside of a dungeon, you know, the tank is going to be the one taking damage, but sometimes the tank will drop, or maybe, you know, if you're healing a lot, you might pull aggro. So that little 10%, it's nothing crazy, but as compared to Towering Light, this increases your damage dealt, which is awesome. But this is a healing loadout for me. You know, of course, if you wanted to do like a hybrid loadout, maybe you would change between these 2 feats there, but I just have one just all out healing basically, and then I have a DPS build. So Persistent Guardian. After using Guardian of Faith or Guardian of Life, the Guardian remains and heals wounded party members for 600 magnitude every few seconds. The Guardian persists until it casts its heal 6 times or 45 seconds, right? So once you use your daily power, if you're using this for offense, you know, nice little magnitude stuns, and that Guardian sticks around and is also a little heal over time. I still think this one's better because when you use it, it's that visual effect. and your party members know what this is. You know, the majority of the time they know, oh shit, that's a healing circle. They're gonna stand inside the healing circle. And I think one of the things that happens sometimes too in dungeons is unfortunate. People panic when they see that they might die. They start running around in circles and they start acting crazy. And if you're a healer and you're trying to run around and keep up with them, that could be super annoying. So again, you know, I prefer that one. It's not even about the magnitude or anything like that. I think it just lessens the confusion. Everybody knows they're going to be healed if they stand in that spot. It keeps everybody together so you can continue to heal them, right? And then the last one, Gathering Light. Extend the cast time of Channel Divinity to 3 seconds. Holding Channel Divinity to its full cast time now guarantees Gathering Light. Divinity cost does not increase further during this window, which is awesome. And then the Gathering Light heals the party member affected by your marked divinity and party members near the target for 800. Now it says party members near the target. I don't know if they're getting the 800 magnitude heal, but even if they're not, they're getting a proportion of that, which is nice. So yeah, really quick, I want to explain the Channel Divinity. Now I'm not in a party, so I have to have a separate clip showing you guys basically, but you're going to, when you press R1, you're going to tag one of your party members. I can't really do it here. We'll have to come back to that. I'll just explain it verbally right now. But you press R1 and you're going to tag them, right? And that gives them the mark of divinity, and they're going to have these little yellow wings over their head. That means that when you hold down R1 next, you'll see there's a cast bar there, and you release it, you're going to heal that target, whoever you have your wings on, whoever you marked with your wings, right? Now, the cool thing about that other perk, I'm sorry, the feat there, the Blessed Armaments, not that one, the Battle Prayer. It decreases, okay, so if you cast a healing spell, let's say I press square. Now that bar fills up much faster, right? And so if you have a tank, okay, I always put that mark over the tank unless you have like really crazy DPS that tends to pull aggro or something like that. You know, obviously use your discretion, but generally I put that mark on the tank. So if you see your tank's taking a lot of damage, you hit square. Cool thing is that's going to hit all of your allies. Everybody's got a nice little heal over time, but then you can immediately hold down your R1 for a very fast heal, and that heal is going to be very good to your tank. And you can do that back to back. You can do that and then heal, and then you do it again and come right back for another quick heal. And you'll notice that that's actually much faster than just the original cast time, right? So you know, all these things are going to come together and play basically when you're running a dungeon. So I'm just going to actually run a couple of these for you guys and show you again, just really briefly. As far as your boons, you're just kind of trying to fill up your stats. For a healer, I feel like you definitely want to have critical strike, critical severity, right? So companions, whatever you got that'll increase your crit is always going to be nice. You want your power pretty close to max too, but like I said, power is pretty easy to cap. So we're just going to go ahead and jump into some dungeons here, and hopefully I can show you guys how the healing works. Alright, we're here at the last boss in Lair of the Mad Mage. First thing you want to do is find your tank. You're going to press R1 as you hover over him, and it's going to mark him. Now when you channel your divinity, it's going to heal whatever target you have marked. Also, if you press square first, it speeds up that heal by quite a bit. That's one of the feats that we chose at the bottom, so that helps out a lot. Yep, if you want to just check out the video and just see some of the different ways to heal, hopefully this guide will help you guys out a little bit.